Fourth and final game for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in once more. Brandon and I are extremely excited to be here and present and cast this game for you guys. C9 fans, throw the C9 spam in chat, and the FaZe boys, let's get some love.
Now watching at a pretty diagonal drop, a nice spread coming in for these teams. Moving forward, we see C9NA moving towards Georgia Pole once again. Liquid back to their default position over Yasnaya, and Refund to their default position over by Severny. I like what's happening right now. An adaptation from ROCCAT, who are now moving over to Nova. And GDE continue back to their starting position over at military base.
Nothing really changes, Grandin.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over,
expecting different results. Yeah.
But there's so many different environmental factors as well.
That is true. You know, there are variations. We've been talking about this, how the value of the game differs from time to time in terms of what you can get and what is randomized in these areas. Now, Liquid touching ground and are going to spread out over this area.
Very central play zone allows for a lot of gameplay, actually. This is a very nice little play zone coming in. So much space to work around. A lot of teams in a very nearby position as well. We can see a very diverse spread of play and different environments to work around. FaZe moving towards North Georgia Pole. So that's going to be quite interesting to see as well. We have two of the strongest teams in a relatively nearby position. I doubt that they'll go into firefights, but we might see some teams find picks early on.
Brilliant here, just touching down, immediately gets into a vehicle to regroup with his team, and that's the strategy coming in now. We did see ROCCAT Armor on the same island as well, so there might be a bit of contention there over resources. It has to be shared a little. The boats as well as the vehicles will be in high demand.
Yeah, vehicles early on looking for strong rotational power. I think that's definitely going to be an important factor in this game. I mean, the previous games as well, we saw it was important for some teams like Flash Wolves, and you can see them moving up to the top side again. Kamishki picking up the vehicles, and they will move in later on as well. But this time around, the play zone in a much more central position, they couldn't afford to move in. And if we know Liquid is going to opt for a different position. They're not going to stay in Yasnaya once they've done farming up. So that gives Flash Wolves an open vector to just drive into that space and find themselves some safety over in that area. And TSM continue back over to Watertown, but they continue to try and pick up a little bit of farm for themselves.
I like that you mentioned, you know, Liquid are going to opt out of that area, so it's going to be free. And if you have studied the sort of default plays of Liquid, you would know this, and you would get free access as a reward to having that information. So
what's the homework? Have they done the homework?
Yeah, have they done the homework is the question.
Supply crate dropping over nearby C9 KR. We actually see a player that's driving towards the area. I'm not sure if that means that they're going to go for that. Aerowolf over by Jinky. And so one of the teams that I want to watch out for the early game is going to be Refund, because so far, every single game, they split up the players, send a few of them early on into the play zone, and they do this split up strategy.
They do this weird aggressive push in.
Yeah, like one man,
right?
1 versus 4, kind of like I'll like 1v1 you, like come at me, scrub, kind of situation.
They get just sprayed down and well feels bad. Time to take a nap or something.
Like sometimes it works. Like you look at the previous stats that they had in the last competitions that they've gone for. They dropped the competition very early on, but they somehow take a lot of damage. Like on average, they're taking like 800 plus damage early on.
That is a good care package. You get the Merc 14 as well as Tier 3 and a ghillie suit, worth a lot of value.
Now the pace of the game slowing down a little bit.
This is the first, as you mentioned, central safe zone circle that we had to work with. So accordingly, the players will have to make the interesting adaptation as well. AWM here for this care package. A lot of high-value care packages across the map, Grandin.
Yeah, having a couple of early pickups. I'm not sure if anybody's going to go for them just yet. Overall, looks like teams are playing it quite safe. Want to mention as well, LGD moved back over to Milta Powers, a team that we had not expected to do as well. They were more middle of the pack kind of team.
They were like my second bottom Chinese team, I think.
Yeah, so coming into this competition, they actually had a surprisingly decent few rounds.
Yeah.
This going back to their default starting position over at Milta Powers. They are somewhat close to the playing zone, and you can see TJW now moving in. I think TJW, the player that somehow survived despite the rest of his team dying.
Gets the care package and drives away. You know, Liquid still holding up as Naya, but the split coming in from Senti and James into the center of this will get spotted out by Aerowolf in a couple of seconds as they drive through. I think C9 Korea as well have their sights on them.
Want to bring back onto LGD real quickly. Moving into the play zone very early on. They aren't really waiting for another space. Oh!
Nope. Got it covered. Got the backup, guys. Don't worry.
Different camera now. But yeah, that was... So LGD now moving in surprisingly early.
Right.
They didn't spend very much time in multiple powers. Instead opting to find a better position in the play zone. But the position that it ended right... Oh my goodness. That was scary.
I don't think they saw him, actually. Great prone coming in from 17th Atong and just waiting there.
ROCCAT Armor moving up from Nova, finding themselves into position as well. So we're finally starting to see some of these teams push in. Flash Wolves also coming in right now. So it looks like almost a sort of consensus from these teams to start pushing in a relatively early. GDE a little bit late on this uptick, and OMG dropping a player and leaving him over at the beach houses on the western side.
On the northern vector as well, Refund are a bit late to the party, but they have started moving. GMT now.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they have started moving
Okay.
slightly. Yeah.
So are they moving together, or are they sending one guy at a time again?
For their sake, I hope they're moving together. Otherwise, might be first team to go out this time again.
The 17 have a very interesting position right now. Tress proning in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. This man is a statue. He cannot be moved. I just say that he stands up and walks away with the AKM. Okay, fine.
So here we go. Refund now starting to push in. FaZe.
I was half on the money though. They sent half in first and the other half slightly
That's still
behind.
better than the one-by-one kind of thing that they do. And then they send them in from different angles too, but nobody follows up with. So it's a little bit of a strange setup from them in the past couple of games, but this time around playing much more orthodox. Now watching C9 NA starting to push in, spotting out C9 KR, and it's a battle of the sister teams as they just try to drive past this position.
The Inception here putting the shots in onto Nerf, and North American C9 squad is going to back off here.
Again, this just moves back into the game of leapfrog, right? If you allow yourself to find shots onto the opponents as they drive in deeper to the play zone, and the play zone is favorable to them, then you now face the same repercussions. So
right.
it's karma for taking shots against them in the first place. So now you have to deal with them in front of you.
The reward is, however, if you manage to get them out of the vehicle or force them to overturn, then you get an easy and quick pick off as they're driving across you. So it is a strategic decision that you have to make. You have to weigh your options. Meanwhile, HK9 here in open ground without any vehicles as well. Interesting movement from the home team.
HQ moving together as a unit, finding a little bit of space here. Haven't exactly seen HQ do too well so far. They have a lot of vehicles and are looking to try and move together. Trying to move together, but with a different split. So not putting everybody in the same vehicle gives them a little bit more space to play around.
C9 also enacting the same strategy. They are waiting to split up 2-2 into separate vehicles to push in. So looking at the circle, Liquid are square in the center of it. GDE just barely making it in. Of course, this is the earlier phases of the game, so you don't really have to worry too much about the size of it. Eventually we'll get in.
TSM find themselves pretty well looted up after moving from Watertown. So that should give them quite a bit of power to start looking for exchanges with some other teams. C9NA now over in Pachinki, and on the other end, Aerowolf are holding down the position.
It's quite a distance away, so I highly doubt that they run into each other or a firefight break out.
Yeah, I think they'd be more content just holding their own position. Right. At the same time, Aerowolf have been making moves that we wouldn't exactly expect them to make. So
it's unorthodox. It's what it is.
Unorthodox strategies. They catch them off guard. It's like playing It's like going southpaw, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, just off the fact that people don't expect it, it works better.
Like I said, he had 2 vehicles lined up in his sights, but opted not to take the shot. FaZe now with a more, I guess, defensive opening. It's a good way to describe it. They opt not to take any fights and just go about their business. You can see on the northwestern side of your map, TSM as well as HK9 going down in a fight here. I think HK9 are bearing the brunt of the beating here as they are in open ground, and Break, meanwhile, across this ridge with the distance and the 4x scope, doing a lot of work.
So decent spread coming in from TSM, looking at a nice position onto HK9, but HK9 have good cover for themselves as well. Only issue that I have for HK9 right now is I don't think they are as well looted up as TSM.
Right.
So TSM in this little bit of a better position right now. If they go for this long extended trade, they don't really need to go and pick up more loot, so TSM don't lose as much in this position. But right now, we're already seeing teams looking to pick up its real estate within the area of the next play zone. They're anticipating where it might land, and if it goes into another central one, a lot of these teams actually benefit a lot.
That's a great point. If it's in the center, it will be Liquid, HK9, and C9 and A, as well as Aerowolf. And there you go. It's pretty decent still. It didn't lean all too much to the side. So it's a simple task for the central teams to rotate over. A quick and tight rotation with speed will do the job.
Liquid now starting to move forward by themselves. HK9 going to be nearby as well. As you can see, James being that spear hitter, pushing forward, has to drop off the vehicle.
Oh, he crashed it a bit and instead opted to dismount and go for the fight here against HK9.
Gets spray off onto the vehicle, onto the Dacia, forces them away. Now whips out the SKS for a second there. Want to look for a couple more quick pot shots, but decides not to. And now Liquid are in a position where they have their lead stolen away from them. They want to find that back, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but nobody sees this. ROCCAT did not just knock over their own team.
Oh boy.
But right now being caught out by multiple teams. Flash Wolves moving by right now, LGD moving by right now, HK9 moving by right now. They might be able to find this knockdown.
James with a great shot, knocking down Nuns, and now they're looking to move up and get this, but a lot of return fire coming through as well. Scoom will secure the kill for him, and now Refund Gaming the next target here for Ibiza.
Wow, look at the team just floating right by Liquid, who are holding this position down. Shots coming in from every angle. James now taking the brunt of the fire, has to back off a little bit.
Liquid is popping off, they're going at all angles, and now they will find TSM. I'm not sure if they're the ones doing the fighting or the pincering, because all around them, people are closing in on their distance.
Yeah, HK9 now in a position to go on a collapse onto Liquid, but I'm not sure whether or not they want to go about that. Liquid, very strong firefighting team.
Right.
If they go in for this, I think they might just end up losing out, but they have the added benefit. Flash Wolves in a position to come in with the flank as well.
You talked about Liquid wanting to get back to first position. Getting a kill, the first one in this game, is going to mean a lot, because now they can put themselves on the board. Remember, it's 15 points apiece per kill.
Refund watching this position as well, as alongside TSM, so multiple teams have visual of Liquid. So Liquid now in a difficult position. They have to make a decision what they want to do. And ROCCAT Armor getting caught up by the side. Aerowolf, the aggressive team.
The first Jeep with minimal cover, so he's going to get tagged up a little bit, but Mia here in the more defensive-oriented Jeep will manage to back off. Now Liquid without any focus on them. I say that, but to their north, it is Flash Wolves just staring them down. When they found the first fight, I was like, cool, they have the advantage here. The second was like, okay, not too bad. The third one forced Liquid to sort of rethink the decision to take that fight.
Yeah, so I want to be able to... I unfortunately cannot check what Liquid have to their disposal right now, so it's a little bit difficult for me to tell what they have and what they're working with.
Right.
But here we go. Look at this Aerowolf slowly inching forward onto C9 and A. C9 and A have been stuck in that house for the longest time, and it's Aerowolf who are making the aggressive moves towards them. And you can also see the engagement from Aerowolf onto ROCCAT Armor. They force ROCCAT Armor to a more outer portion of the playing zone. Instead, they hold a more central position now. So you can see how aggressive this team really is. The Indonesian team, my goodness.
Meanwhile, the Vietnamese team here, Refund, managing to make it in with 4 members intact still at 15 minutes. Could be a new achievement for them. TSM holding up this compound. 3 members in 3 separate houses. Make that 4 as solid FPS earners back in. Now we still have all teams on the map at 15 minutes in.
We're waiting on this next play zone. There's a wide open space on the right-hand side, so SunSisters actually have a very good position if the play zone drops onto that end.
Off the side though, GDE, Game Dimension Esports, managed to find a knockdown onto OMG.
Liquid versus TSM. Two powerhouses. TSM performing much better than we had expected since coming in with much more solid shot calling.
This is a rivalry as always time, Team Liquid as well as TSM, but eventually it's just going to be a stare down, no one really committing into that fight. GDE rotating off the left vector here, coming in with a flank though, might be big. Liquid and TSM still looking to duke this one out.
Yeah, Liquid could stand to benefit a lot of getting these early kills. And just trying to snowball an advantage off of this. You can see they've collected a bunch of Darcias over here, so they can easily rotate away. And you can see this is a very smart strategy coming in. They force the opponents into a passive turtle-like position.
Right.
Get a couple shots up. If they get a kill, that's nice. If they don't, at most they waste a little bit of time. But if they're looted out well enough, they don't lose that much.
EB managed to park all the vehicles in a single line to force a sort of cover towards their back so they won't get flanked, and I think they're really settling in for the long haul now as they want to pin TSM down, as you mentioned.
Also have to mention on the side, a couple of trades from C9 ending up to FaZe, but OMG and ROCCAT now looking at a position where they are having to stand off. Play zone closing in. SunSister, the ones who have to try and push forward. They move over by apartments. So they have a nice big space to work around, trying to push in. Not many teams are in their path right now, but it's open space all the way in.
Refund with the car gets a knockdown onto HK9, I believe. It's Solomon that's on the ground. Meanwhile, Flash Wolves still with 3 members pushing up.
HK9 with a member dropped to try and get the revive. Yeah, so Refund coming in here.
This sucks for HK9. They're pincered between Flash Wolves as well as Refund, the Vietnamese team.
It's quite impressive what Refund have managed to do this time around. They managed to find themselves in a better position. Moving together as a unit, they obviously see a lot more success than trying to go individually. And now it's just up to HK9 to get the revive, and it looks like they have. And SunSisters with a bunch of vehicles push in from the eastern side. So I like the movement that they're going for. Instead of pushing directly into the playing zone for the shortest possible path, they opt to rotate around a little bit instead. And
they're rewarded with free entry into the safe zone because there's no one there to watch them. The AWM in this carrot package might be going Liquid's way. They are relatively near to this.
They could look to pick that up, but it is in the side of TSM. So you can, if you just look over it like the right side, TSM definitely can get shots off on the person that tries to pick that up, or when they try to move over to pick that up. So not overall worth it at this moment, unless you have a lot of utility to set that up. Otherwise, might want to just force and engage on TSM before moving in.
It's a game of patience here from Refund as well as Flash Wolf. They know that they have to pincer down against HK9.
Oh yeah, it's a dogfight. Whoever backs out first, you're gonna get caught.
There's no reason for them to go on the offensive or back out just yet, because the safe zone is very well within both teams, so rather all 3 teams' favor. So not really gonna worry too much.
Yeah, just hiding in the depressions in the ground. Still working off this little space here. LGD have actually taken the spot that we saw TSM move towards, so in Watertown. Now HQ pushing forward as well. Flash Wolves in front of them. They're looking to grab this corner of the playing zone, not looking to push in any more than they have to.
They don't see them because the hill is obstructing the vision, but the flank, as long as they push up, might be a reality. SunSisters now taking shots at AHQ, knowing that they pushed in. Refund also see AHQ as well. Circle moving down south, a square on top of Liquid as Xiaohai will fall. So a bit of damage from his own team, I believe. Eventually, no, gonna get taken down by ROCCAT Armor. That's a kill onto OMG, going the way of ROCCAT.
I love the speed of Liquid have. Here we go.
Fast and Furious, Stranded. This is going down. HK9 driving side by side. It could be a pincer on a HK9 Flash Wolves on both angles. Holy moly, I've never seen a situation like this before, but it seems like HK9 will be able to get out of this. Telelai, Sin is gonna fall, and the damage from Super Nair just enough.
Blocking a shot with the pan a second, but it's not going to be enough. He gets taken down and breaking the deadlock. The play zone calls for action. Moving forward all at the same time. Multiple players get taken out.
I was going to HK9, LGD all falling across the map, and HK9 would be likely the first team to fall just because they are getting taken down.
GDE over on the side as well. Now watching the action coming in as Aerowolf find a couple of kills for himself. So a team who has been having a rough patch in the past couple of games. now find themselves with a couple quick kills.
Yeah, meanwhile, FaZe will run into Liquid and they're going to trade some kills. LGD there as well, so Liquid will pick up Joker on the side. Aerowolf here sitting in the building, having the defensive position, spraying bullets down, will pop that vehicle and take it out. GDE falling like flies all across. This is not what they want. The home team, Game Dimension and Esports, is not faring well. In this final game for today, GDE will get taken out, I believe. That should be the elimination of the home team, the first team to fall. There you go. Meanwhile, C9 NA on the high ground. I say high ground, they're pretty far away, shooting upwards.
Yeah, looking to shoot at the high ground. SunSister's at the bottom, looking to get a couple shots onto 17 as well. They are now in the play zone. Refund there as well. Liquid, a team that moves so quickly into the next play zones. Pochinki, a huge urban battle now coming in. I was talking about how teams don't generally like to battle out in cities, but right now it doesn't look like there's going to be much of a choice.
17, one member on the floor will get taken out, and now there's only 2 left. Someone as well as one will have to evade the shots coming from C9. Immediately turns his attention to the members on the right. It's going to be HQ now, focused down by Nerf, doing a lot of work with the M4. Switching over to the Scar with the scope as well. It's a red dot, so going to be able to execute a couple more members now. Refund, knowing that they have the ticket out of this fight, will be exiting stage right.
But not all teams managed to get away safely. LGD down to the last player again. TJW, the guy that survived off the first game, is going to be the guy that survives off the 4th game. Yeah, now we see FaZe take down a member of C9NA.
FaZe getting the knockdown first is crucial for FaZe as they push into this church. They're looking to play the defensive high ground here. There's a C9 getting pincered inside this house. They're stuck and they can't really move out. However, they are on the offensive, looking to get the shots onto Refund. They see the vehicle, so they're just being cheeky here. Moody, one tapping away.
K-Mine drops down once. He will be able to.
They see him. Do they want to pull it?
I don't think they're going to be able to find it. So I think they're just going to wait off this position first and they'll look for it. Oh my goodness. Couple shots coming in. Moody takes a little bit of damage.
Waited too long. Moody gets spotted out and FaZe turns around with the bullets to the face. The helmet's going to help a lot as Moody gets tagged up. Now he's going back for the re-peek.
K-Mine dropping down just now is going to mean that C9NA have to work around the fact that their teammate is more likely to bleed out in the later stages of the game. Well, look at the number of teams who are now holding down onto Pochinki.
This is a nightmare for anyone that isn't in a compound because there are so many good defensive positions and territories that they held. 17 is out of the competition. Credit going the way of C9 Korea, and there's 2 teams eliminated already. Might just be another one here as Refund gets targeted up.
PlayZone continues to promote play around Pochinki. We're watching the close come in right now.
Refund Gaming, what are you doing? You're going the wrong way. They're exiting the safe zone as well.
No, this is fine because right now what they're doing is they're looking for a different entrance. They're looking for this wide rotation around. Oftentimes we see teams try to go in and force a brute force entry into the play zone. Going around, could see themselves get in, and here we are, dodging right past SunSisters. They managed to find a little bit of space on this top right-hand side. TSM, on the other hand, a little bit late right now.
Right.
If they try to push in, they're going to end up meeting Liquid.
They're going to have to push in through 2 teams here, Liquid as well as Refund Gaming on the left as well. On the west side of the circle, FaZe looking to make the re-entry in. They have the vehicle. FaZe is piloting that, so they will have a speedy entry in. TSM now in the vehicles looking to go in from the northern vector as we talked about.
A little bit of space on the left-hand side of Pochinki, so they still have the real estate there to try and pick up, but it's difficult for them to try and move in without taking a lot of suppressive fire. But here we are at FaZe, starting things off, FaZe being the one to move in.
Might run into ROCCAT Armor here. TJW will get spotted out, crouching behind that, and eventually taken out by solid FPS. TSM getting the kill credit.
LGD gets dropped down. That was kind of expected at that point, but TSM now have a major issue. Liquid is in their path as they try to move forward. HQ hovering around the right-hand side of the map.
Samty now trying to tag up members of Refund Gaming. DJ Chip piloting that car will jump behind the tree for some additional cover, knowing that the Jeep has no sort of defensive utility to speak of.
Nice dodge away coming in from TSM, moving over to this left-hand side, but FaZe were previously in that position, so they kind of understand that teams could probably move in from there. So they should be watching out for that position. SunSisters and HQ holding down the right-hand side. You can see this huge open space in the center of the play zone is just not inhabited at all. Nobody wants that place.
No one wants to stand in the center of these open spaces because there's no cover. And meanwhile, James and Rory getting taken down. TSM and Liquid getting dropped a member each. I say that, the execution coming in onto Rory. So it is TSM with a member down already. FaZe now going on the offensive. Refund Gaming as well. They're looking to close the gap onto Liquid.
Well, Semty actually looking to go and revive his teammate. That's quite, that's really a heroic play right now.
A ballsy play and a grenade forward as well. Will it land onto them? Because with the res comes the blue behind them. Liquid might be losing 2 members instead of 1. Manages to get the res, turning the corner, moving up and avoiding the blue.
That was a very close position there. Almost lose their lives, but here we go. A couple of shots coming in from Pino. Refund looking for the shots on the Liquid.
Run, James, run. Eventually gets the cover, but meanwhile, Pino.
Instant headshot. That's going to be the knockdown coming in. Pino gets taken down.
K-Mine is like, I got you, bro. Don't worry, I'll get him for you. And they find a knockdown, giving Team Liquid a bit more space to breathe.
I like how you're like, I got you, but that was a different team. C9NA just helped one of the biggest competitors, Team Liquid, get into a safe position.
That is a great point. Maybe not the best choice there. And meanwhile, Refund Gaming still hopping around. Remember, he opted for this position to fight around. Scoom now hiding behind, trying to get the shots onto DJ Chip. DJ Chip still trying to tag up members of Liquid. They're jumping around. They throw the utility out just to scare him. It could be just the smoke to obscure the vision.
I don't really know what Liquid want to do at this point. They are in such a difficult position. In front of them is Refund. Behind them it's Cloud9 NA. So they don't really have much of a choice. They have to decide if they want to go in for the lesser of 2 evils.
Now they have the vehicle. They're opting to swing around off the side with the wide rotation. So that seems to be the answer for Liquid right now.
But TSM is waiting the wait, so is laying the weights, and they all be just over on the side. So if they swing left, it's TSM. If they stop and shot off TSM, then it's Cloud9. If it's shot, go to the right, it's Refund.
Take a look at Liquid. James is leading the charge. He's the entry fragger now, but they're going to run into C9 TSM, and this could be a massive fight breaking out. Just in front of that is Aerowolf as well, and Liquid again getting absolutely fired upon. HQ now taking a lot of focus. Milk is the first to fall for the Taiwanese squad now. Cage 3 and SR as well getting knocked down. Liquid also getting focused down. So 2 teams now getting aimed by members inside of Pochinki. Pochinki is the death pit now for anyone entering.
Refund being shoved in, and oh, look at all these teams are still holding out. 38 alive, and we're already in the play zone 6.
Samty pays for his team's entry, and meanwhile HQ dropped 2 members. With the earlier one, it makes it 3, and only 1 member HQ left alive. Refund Gaming gets caught out by C9 Korea as well as ROCCAT, and the Vietnamese are finding no joy whatsoever in this 4th game.
Refund managed to find 2 members pushing into the play zone. Mixie might be able to find a house for himself. The rest of the teams are just trying to push in. HQ winner, the last one on his side. C9 KR might spot him out and take him out if they have the chance.
Look at the circle, it forces Refund to push in, and TSM now dropped another member. SunSisters as well, losing 1. Aerowolf, so there are multiple executions just all across the map, and this game is shaping up to be very, very spicy as we enter the 28th minute.
This is very different from what we've seen the past 3 games. The past 3 games have been so much more centered around just being able to find a better position, but right now, off of the urban setting, it's whoever knows how to play Pochinki the best.
Right.
And Pochinki, you know, it's my city. It's everybody's city.
It's everybody's city.
So we'll see if anybody can play it the best. And James, the last man standing on Liquid. It's a difficult, cruel world out there, but he has to try and hold it in this position.
He has Scoom with him separately.
Scoom is split.
They split up, so this is a good divide and conquer sort of strategy coming in. A lot of shots being thrown around inside Pochinki. The Persian might be getting to some of the players here. 4th and final game of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Mentally taxing. What's the call coming in? Circle, very small square on top of Aerowolf as well as Liquid. This forces the rotation, and ROCCAT still has 4 members. They're going to lead the charge. FaZe on the left as well with the delayed entry in, I think.
Cloud9 KR look like they want to make a move as well. Refund holding on for that position first. Winner looking to crawl in if he can. TSM pushing forward now. OMG, C9NA come in. They get a knockdown into OMG.
It's a menage a trois. TSM now fall to OMG, and C9NA still alive off the back, looking to swoop in and finish this one up. K-Mine and company pushing in. Moody leading the charge for his teammates. The fragger that we know and love. Blonde hair standing, rushing in. HQ now playing the silent game winner as the last member alive. Will probably be looking to sneak in.
FaZe and the rest of the FaZe team wrapping around from the back end, looking to go in behind ROCCAT, use them as bait before trying to push forward.
C9 opt to split up, so it's 3-on-1 side and a single individual, and the other Skooma is going to fall to Moody as he gets the execution there. So only one member of Liquid left alive, and it's going to be James, who is square in the center of the safe zone. Nerf now taking a lot of fire, has to opt away from that window, turning around the angle, looking for something else. ROCCAT Armor now finding Lion KK. OMG suffering 2 casualties in a couple of minutes.
What an absolute mess at this point. So many teams now looking to play around this incredibly small space. So continues to call in. Nerf gets knocked down. James finds the credit for that one, getting revenge for his teammate. But now they have a little bit more information on where the last player of Liquid stands.
They know where James is, so the question is whether they want to push in onto this. There are 3 compounds around, or rather 3 houses in this compound just being held up by multiple teams. It's so difficult to even decide to move in. Aerowolf with 3 on the left side and C9 on the bottom with 4. FaZe now might be running into ROCCAT Armor on the side. They are just next to each other as the circle closes in once more. 12 teams at 31 minutes. This is shaping up to be quite the game, Grandin.
So far the spread still looks pretty massive.
OMG getting figured out here, and TSM will lose a member, so they are at a disadvantage now. OMG now hovering off the back, using the cover, window to window. ROCCAT Armor will find FaZe. As long as he peeks out using third-person view, we'll see him running out, holding the trigger, not really wanting to go for that fight just yet. ROCCAT Armor, Hexa calling the information out to his team. Meanwhile, OMG turning the corner will find C9. The fight going down. They're using the smokes to great effect, using the cover as well, but he will get spotted out, and Nerf will take him down. Lion KK getting executed. Now turning the corner is Silent BT. Can he clutch this out? He finds the first, but no, the turnaround from Nerf. C9 NA eliminating OMG now, finishing 11th place, the Chinese team.
K-Mine now going to get revived off of this position. James pushing forward. He might be looking to try and set things up for himself, looking to move in from cover to cover the smoke, setting things up for his team, for himself. Who is the whole team at this point?
That's a great wall of smoke by James there to dodge from cover to cover, as you mentioned. Now relocating himself into a safer spot. He's still hiding around the smoke, but he's going to get spotted out by ROCCAT Armor. A second smoke is going to do it for him now as he makes a mad dash to safety. James barely getting back into the house as the circle closes in once more. Eventually, he's going to get whizzed somehow. James has been clutching.
A miraculous move right there.
James has been clutching this out, and can he do even more? Because Team Liquid needs the points. Now C9 Korea will get the knockdown to Refund. Turning the corner is going to be HK9 getting the kills and the finishing damage down onto Refund Gaming.
Yeah, Refund now getting taken out over on the side. Aerowolf right beside C9 NA. C9 NA taking a couple of shots from themselves. Oh, Nerf goes down alongside Moody, and oh my goodness, that's going to be the wipe.
Holy moly, that's the whole C9 squad eliminated. The first place team getting dethroned, finishing 9th, and HK9 in 8th position. So this opens up the game for FaZe. It opens up the game for Team Liquid to snatch away pole position, at least close the gap, if not.
Last player winner gets taken out as well, and that's going to be HK9, I believe, coming in with taking out HQ, pushing forward now. SunSisters moving around. They have the 3rd-person advantage. NC Slasher gets a couple shots off, and ROCCAT actually the ones to find the confirmation kill on the Crazy Sam, and SunSisters going to get taken down.
Through the window from the building opposite, they get the kill, and now FaZe still with 4 members strong. They're sitting on the circumference on the outer edge of the safe zone. They don't have to be too aggressive. All they have to do is just cover all the angles necessary. You can see 2 on the high ground, 2 on the low ground.
It's a difficult position for the individual players. James by himself, C9 KR in a good position, Aerowolf in a good position, FaZe and ROCCAT in a good position. Any team who does not have the favor of the play zone is going to get caught out.
ROCCAT Armor once again find themselves in top 5. Molly into the house is going to force away a couple of members. ROCCAT Armor have to be very careful here. James still held out in the center of it all. Throws the smoke, might give away his position though, peeks out of the window to try and find some sort of catch. Firepower coming in from FaZe, they're pushing up aggressively, deciding not to take the high ground, instead pushing up, and ROCCAT moving in onto FaZe. Meanwhile, Aerowolf will be pushing up as well. Gemty getting taken down by ROCCAT Armor. They're pushing up the Koreans as well as the Indonesians, doing a lot of work here. Mihao will find the execution onto GMT, and FaZe now only have 3 members left.
Souvenir now has to try and find some pushing forward, but in the smoke, they're gonna walk right past each other.
They don't see him! Meanwhile, Aerowolf just pushing forward. They don't get him. They don't get the execution. NC Slasher on the ground now will take down to the environmental damage. They're sacrificing him. They're saying, leave me. The grenade doing so much work over there. ROCCAT are all on the ground, and Aerowolf are next to them. This smoke is causing so much chaos. Aerowolf getting eliminated 5th to go now. We're down to top 10. As FaZe are running into the center circle with 4 teams inside such a small area. This is going to be a massacre, granted.
Wait, James is still alive, and there we go. SunSister Korea going to get taken down. One more player. We see FaZe coming in. There's one last man standing.
Hexetti sees him. Hexetti's going to get the shots off, but meanwhile, Maxi's going to get eliminated. Hexetti finds C9 Korea's deception.
James still over in the house right now. Cash gets taken down. James gets the kill. He might be able to do this. He takes a lot of damage in the span of the time.
At the end of it, it's gonna be ROCCAT Armor that finished first. What a messy finishing.
That was down to the wire. Photo finish. Multiple teams dying at the exact same moment, and ROCCAT Armor somehow come out ahead. I don't know what to attribute that game to. Skill, luck, chaos?
That is single-handedly the most chaotic finishing to a PUBG game I've ever seen. Everyone fighting a Pachinki in the compounds. It went from so structured to just this bloodbath towards the end when the circle literally closed down towards ROCCAT's feet. So many things could have gone differently for them to finish 2nd or 3rd, but instead it's going to be the Koreans that find themselves in 1st place in this game 4.
ROCCAT Armor, the team that managed to pull in a 2nd place finish off the 1st game. Somewhat of a decent showing the 2nd and 3rd, not as well as we had expected. But coming in 4th game, coming in for win. Fortunately, we didn't get the standings from the 3rd game.
I believe it was C9 Korea 3rd and FaZe 2nd, if I'm not wrong. I could be mistaken, but hopefully we get